Morning, folks. How is everybody? Hopefully, you're all safe and well. You're enjoying yourself and you're having a happy day. It's Friday. Thank God it's Friday. Listen, you can have a Friday feeling every single day if you really want to. You just got to choose to do it. I'm off today. Wow. So I've taken the opportunity just to jump on. One of the books I'm reading is actually fantastic just now, Ogmandino, University of Success. And he actually talks about this in chapter 13. And basically, he says how to raise your self-confidence, your self-esteem, and develop your self-confidence. And I think it's important. The only event in the entire world that you can control is the way you're thinking and feeling. And at present and instant. But that isn't enough. That's all you need to be able to control, really, when it comes down to it. Those are the words of James Penn. Now, James Penn he had a PACE seminar, and its profound and positive effect on many people was over the years in all different ages. And one of the things he actually penned was a book called Release Your Brakes. So what does this talk about? Well, have you ever driven an automobile when the brakes are on? I suppose most of us have driven for some length of time at some point in our life and had that experience. I can remember times when I arrived at my destination and I reached down to pull on the handbrake, and I found it had been on all the way. It's a ridiculous way to drive, yet without realizing it or intending to do so, we're actually moving throughout life with the handbrake on or partly set. So the horsepower is there. There's vast areas of potential are blocked and bottled up and restricted from effect because of the application of the handbrake in your life. So what actually causes this? Well, what do you think about yourself? Do you like the person who you are right now? As you can see, we're still dealing with your mind and your thoughts. If your self-esteem and an image of how you see yourself is on the low side of the scale, then you're probably going to be driving with the brakes on, and it's not allowed as a result. So how do you feel about your worthiness, your importance as a human being? That feeling, your level of self-esteem, is one of the most fundamental and vital attitude structures of your reality system. This is the way you think about yourself. Your high self-esteem is almost universal concept denominator of excellence. People with high self-esteem, you can see that straight away. They go into excellence. The releasing mechanism that allows them potentially to flow easily and freely throughout life. Have you developed a pattern of truth about your value and your self-image and your worth? Because you tend to behave in a manner that is consistent with your attitude. Your self-esteem begins, morning Matt. Your self-esteem begins with that constant with your attitude. Your self-esteem begins to develop in the early years of your life as well. When you're very small, you got a lot of messages and signals from your parents and other experts of what kind of person you really were. Some of those signals were very positive, loving, encouraging, reinforcing. I love you. You're a great kid. I'm glad you're part of the family. Some of the messages for those very important people in your childhood may not have been so positive at all. You know the ones. Pick your feet up. You're always clumsy. Why did you do that stupid thing like that? What makes you think you're so special? That's not for the likes of us. Does that all sound familiar? Well, this all builds self-esteem over time. But here's the important point out of this. It was not that kind of message you received, but what you did with the messages that counted. So look at it very carefully. It was not that other people or those experts whose authority figures said to you that you counted nearly so much as what you were thinking and feeling within yourself about what you were perceiving at the time. That's what built your level of self-consciousness and your self-esteem, your own unique personal feeling of the worthiness that was stated in those early years with your own program and process. So it's your programming in your mind that's caused it. You've been building and revising it for ever since your conscious level of thoughts and your feelings about yourself. Your present level of self-esteem is a cumulative result of the positive and negative rocks which thoughts and feelings are deposited on the scale since you were actually born. Self-esteem is a matter of degree more than anything. You don't either have it or not have it. You're somewhere on the scale ranging from very negative to very positive, from the high to the lows and the lows to the highs. The person who excels in the high performance tends to function most of the time on the upper end of the scale. Most of the time they're very real, honest, positive, sense of personal worth and value. On the low end, the person on the low end of the scale is convinced that their worthiness is insignificant, unlikable. He is unsure of his abilities, eager to stay close to home, to do things that are familiar and easy. He knows that there's much of a chance that he will do nothing very useful, is uncomfortable when giving a compliment or praise, and feels like little control over his future, and is sure things that will respond for the worse in this future. Unfortunately, there are many great people in this world who live that kind of self-image, who genuinely, honestly, deeply feel that way about themselves, negative as it may be. It's the way things are for a lot of people. It's easy enough to see how that kind of reality applies the brakes to a person's effectiveness in life. So is the brakes on in your life? Maybe it's time to let go. Absolutely right, Mark. We'll finish off with that. Social media can be a bad place. So many influential people can make you feel so worth and so look in a certain way, wear certain things, holiday at a certain place, rather than follow your own path to end up on the road that you are chasing a bleak outlook. And that's so true. We go through our life looking at other people. Some people have imposter syndrome as well. We talked about that yesterday. I talked about imposter syndrome to someone yesterday, and that's it. They're so high, but they actually think they'll be found out. Now, everybody suffers from imposter syndrome. Don't worry about it. Even the billionaires, multimillionaires, they all suffer from imposter syndrome. But it's all down to self-worth. You have to realize and understand this is a normal feeling. Patterns of behavior as well. You know, you'll always justify what you want to justify. And that all comes back down to your self-esteem and your confidence level. If you're confident and you've got high self-esteem, you will know you'll have faith in yourself to move forward as a result of your actions. And you just know it's going to happen for you every single day. If you don't have that level of self-confidence and self-esteem, and you are quite low in what you're doing, you always think negatively about yourself. But because you always do that, you'll always work towards that. Where focus goes, energy flows. Tony Robbins puts it so elegantly in that statement. It's really where focus goes, energy flows. So whatever you want in life that you focus on is probably what you're going to get. You maybe want to be a millionaire. You maybe want to have happiness. You maybe want to find that ideal partner. But unless you're focusing on that as your result, then you won't get it. Because where focus goes, energy flows. So have a nice day. It's a Friday. Have that Friday feeling. Bye-bye for now.